All right, guys. So we are the day after Georgia and Oregon. The Dogs unfortunately lose to Oregon, 71 to 82 or 82 to 71. I don't know if it's 82-71. Just talking about it the day after, man. I've had time to digest the loss, even re-listen to the game and rewatched highlights quite a few times. The first takeaway I could get is Silas Damari Jr. and Blue Kane are gonna be great players for Georgia, man. I mean, um, they have so much potential to what they could be. You're with this Georgia lineup, and with Silas and Blue Kane, you could be looking at the next Sundiata Gaines Billy Humphreys combination, and I know that is really really big to be talking about, because I mean Sundiata Gaines and Billy Humphreys probably one of the best duos in Georgia basketball, but man, I mean it could be like that, and then not to mention you have Big Russ Tashia. He played all right yesterday. The biggest thing about me yesterday was Georgia just got slapped out, rebounded in the game, man. I mean, it was just absolutely awful. It was very, very weird to see Georgia get out rebounded like they did. But it happened. It happened, unfortunately. But I mean, look, dude. First game of the year, there is not much you could do. First game of the year, we're learning. We're still trying to figure out our lineups and stuff. We cannot wait to get R.J. Sonara back. I believe he could possibly come back Sunday versus North Carolina Central, maybe against Wake Forest, but I would probably bet against North Carolina Central. It might be later than that. You're definitely going to want them in the Bahamas when you go play Miami and Kansas State or Providence. But, and then, well, first off, I know you're looking at me right here, I want to give a big shout out to the James Madison Dukes. How about them Dukes? They upset number 4 Michigan State at Michigan State last night. Out of all the games, out of all the teams that could have got upsetted, James Madison over Michigan State was not on my list. But I'll continue with Georgia now. I mean, first game of the year, man, we're gonna have offensive struggling. Jalen Deloach played really good too, and Deloach could be a good player for Georgia, man. It's just the whole roster. We're just so super talented. I truly believe this could be. You have not seen the best of Georgia. That loss will be the worst performance Georgia has all year long. In all honesty, it really was just the first half. Georgia outscored. Oregon outscored Georgia by 1 point in the second half. I believe it was 41-42. Oregon in the second half, but for the longest time there, Georgia was outscoring Oregon as well. So, I mean, a lot of good things from Georgia yesterday, a lot of bad things from Georgia. Just around the state, Belmont beat Georgia State. Georgia Southern hung in there with Georgia Tech for a super, super long time, probably until 10 minutes to go in the second half. Mercer lost to a Division II team. I think their name was like Clark Hill or something like that. So Clark Atlanta or something like that. Yeah. So they're HBCU school, so it's kind of nice to see a HBCU making its name, especially one close to home. Nothing but respect for the Clark Atlanta. I believe they're Panthers. Yeah, the Clark Atlanta Panthers. Nothing but respect for those dudes. They took the Bears down the court and made them look silly. Overall, Louisville cheated against UMBC. They got the win versus the Retrievers, 94-93. It was a game. UMBC, Louisville missed a shot with about 5 seconds left. UMBC got the rebound, and at that moment, that should have been an over-the-back foul on Louisville, but it is what it is. Tonight, Gonzaga opens up the season Friday. Tonight, Auburn, Vanderbilt open up the season. So at this point, tomorrow, every SEC team will have at least played one game. Not to mention, Georgia's next opponent, Wake Forest, struggled with Elon until 15 or 10 minutes to go in the second half. They won 100-76. So Georgia's next opponent is Wake Forest. And shout out to the Lady Dogs. They beat UNC A&T. They struggled the entire game until the fourth quarter. They were in danger of losing there for a minute. We're having a completely different discussion today if North Carolina A&T upset Georgia at home. But about men's, final thing, I like what I saw yesterday. There's a lot we got to improve on. But overall, I think Georgia will be just fine. Let's go Hoop Dogs.